Good to see you, good to be. It's DillyDave hanging out here for a good time on the Vibe Union podcast. Today joining me is Ricky, aka Yambra.
Yo, what's good?
Welcome on board. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
For the 45th episode of the Vibe Union podcast. We are on our way to 50. It's happening. Yambra is, what would you say, R&B, hip-hop, pop, but eclectic. And would you say through your music you're trying to bring a bit of like light and love into?
Yeah. Just good, upbeat, positive vibes. Things that everyone can sort of, you listen to the hook once and everyone can sing along.
And
to it,
Cool, that's very good because that's kind of the angle that I like as well. But before we get too deep into Yambra's work in music, it's first good to get grounded, and a good way to get grounded is to acknowledge the sacred ground that we're on. So the traditional custodians of the land that we're recording and podcasting on at the moment, generally for Vibe Union, a combination of the Boonwurrung and the Wurrung people of the Kulin Nation. So just like to acknowledge elders, past, present, and emerging, state that sovereignty was never ceded, that history was deleted, and there's a lot of stories that we need to keep alive. Ricky, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, 100%. Growing up indigenous my whole life, doing paint-ups, corroborees. It's definitely something that's now good to be acknowledged, especially when it's sincerely. Whereas, in workplaces now, because it's in legislation, it's sort of, we tick that box just to get it out of the way of the discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah, it hits different when it's from a pure heart. So
right. Well, I hope you feel it's from a pure heart here, and I don't know, is it a fine line between like being insincere and sincere about this kind of thing? I mean, how do you view it? Like, if it's just like in legislation and enforced in a particular way, do you find that still meaningful enough, or?
Yeah, to an extent, 100%. It's nicer when it feels more natural and it's not a protocol.
Yeah. Not a protocol.
Yeah.
Well put. All right, we're talking about not a protocol. We are not computers here. We're actual humans. Yambra is one of the many reasons we've got Yambra on the... what do you prefer for this, Yambra or Ricky?
Yambra, yeah.
Cool. One of the big reasons why we've got Yambra on this particular podcast is because on the 12th of March at Bar 303, we've got the Mortal Cadence Vibe Union Hip Hop Showcase. So we've got Yambra on. We've had eyes on him for a bit through Saskia, the lens of Saskia mainly.
Yeah.
It's kind of scoped you out and hit you up. You've done some photo shoots with her or a photo shoot with her. So if people were to come to Mortal Cadence, this hip hop showcase, what could they expect from you, kind of like music-wise and performance-wise? What do you think you're going to be bringing on the night?
It'll definitely start off with some slower songs, just to sort of, get everyone used to my voice.
Yep.
At the start. So it'll be probably 3 unreleased tracks.
Huge, new shit.
Yep. And then I'll have my 2 tracks that are already out, to which both have been on Triple J, Complex Artists of the Week, etc.
They have big ups.
Yeah. So got another track coming out the end of next month. I've had to push it back a bit.
Okay, end of March, yep.
Yeah. So that'll be coming to make a bit of noise. Got a music video going for that.
Huge.
PR team's backing it. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Fingers crossed about that. And everyone who comes down to, Immortal Cadence for the night. It's going to be massive.
It's going to be massive. It's going to be boot stomping goodness.
Yeah.
It's good that we'll be able to dance, run around, and kind of move in a meaningful way. It's pretty rough when you perform at some of these events, and it's either like seated or not quite standing, or people are weird about either.
Yeah.
It can be a nightmare. Hey, so just a bit of a timeline for you as a musician with your music. So you've got some pretty fresh releases up on Spotify.
Yep.
2 singles towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
When did you start on this path? Like, give us a bit of an origin story of
Yeah,
Yambra, meaning behind, maybe name, and what your direction is.
All right, we'll start with the name.
Yeah.
A little bit of a funny story. My old man, my mum, they used to play a game called Diablo.
Yeah.
I'm sure many of you guys have heard of it.
I've played it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it to death. So my old man used to have this character on there. It was a paladin. His name was Yambra.
That's amazing. I play Paladin with most
Yes.
games that if I can play. That's amazing.
And so pretty much when I was younger, maybe I've conjured this thought up myself, but I'm pretty certain this is how it happened. I had asked him when I was younger, what does like Yambra mean? And you know, he told me that it meant like outlaw. And maybe that's the definition that he gave to that name when he created it. And so my whole life growing up, I've always thought of this cool name, Yambra, you know, it means outlaw, and I'm just thinking like, you know, it's the coolest shit ever. And yeah, so I guess when I started making music, it started from poetry when I was about 17.
Okay, yeah.
I used to catch the V-Line train up to my nan's in central Victoria, Castlemaine.
Oh,
and I'd sit there
wow.
just looking out the window writing poetry. And then it turned more into like poetic expressions of rap. And then I delved a bit into singing, but then rapping verses. But then, you know, until I'd say last year did I really capture what I wanted to do with my music, and that was to sing R&B.
Cool. And infuse a little bit of hip hop and stuff in there, but
Yeah,
you kind of like, you literally found your voice and you're like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to sing my way through. Okay, cool. So, when was the first time you hit a live stage as Yambra?
That was actually this month, sorry.
At Laundry, is that right?
Yeah, Laundry Bar, yeah.
Cool.
So that was the first time. We had the SP showcase, awesome lineup.
Sloth Productions, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Hosted pretty much by Laundry, but ran by Nate Six, pretty much.
Okay.
One of the homies who features on Stormin'.
Yep.
Very talented, so he pretty much organised the whole night. And yeah, he sent me his set list and told me that he wanted to perform Stormin' with me. And then, yeah, for the first time I ever got on stage, I got to perform Stormin' live to 200 people, so it was pretty awesome. Yeah.
That's huge. What was it like for you to lead up in preparation for that? I mean, this is good, like your first live event. You know, you're featuring for somebody else. Like, obviously, Sloth's putting on some pretty high end like talent and a decent show. So, how were you feeling on the lead up there? And then, how did it like turn out for you? How was it on the stage when you were doing it?
The lead up was good. I guess because I found the comfort in the fact that I had a close friend up on stage with me.
Right.
Obviously, nerves running a bit, but prior to even knowing that I was going to be on stage, I had already been, you know, setting myself in stone, the image that I want for myself in the next 10 years or so. So a lot of meditation and affirmations every single day, and manifesting. And so once it got to that stage, and we, you know, it was 4 weeks out, went to one of the rehearsals with the boys because they booked a rehearsal room.
Yeah.
Just caught the vibe, and then I was 10% nervous by the time I was there, and it was just felt natural, like this is what I needed to do.
Cool. So the actual performance going up there, did you felt like, you know, you were stiff in any way, or did you just felt like this is it, it's happening, it's feeling good?
No, I just felt like it was going good. You know, I'll look at some of the footage and be like, you know, maybe I was subconsciously looking at Nate too much for, you know, comfortability, maybe.
Okay. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, I think it was more that it was just making that contact with him because we were, you know, doing his ad-libs and whatnot until the lead up until my verse. And, and then I think it went real well. I just felt that energy. The crowd was just going insane.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and by the time it finished, everyone was just like chanting Yambra. It was just, it was pretty surreal, yeah.
You did it, you won them. That's huge. So this Mortal Cadence, which is going to be your own full set, that's going to be your first time doing your own full set.
Yeah.
That's super exciting. Are you bringing Nate or anyone else along to perform with you and your set at Mortal Cadence?
Nate will be coming. Yeah, pretty certain he'll be coming. I hit him up after, you know, I got the message from Vibe Union, and he was like, I'm keen. So I think that, definitely be doing that with Nate. and get to have one of the homies, Jeb Ross, up there.
Jeb Ross,
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. So it's exciting. He was G'd up when I told him. I was like, bro, I don't have enough content out yet. I was like, you know, I can do a solid 15 minutes. I was like, but I need, you know, do you want to come up and do 15 minutes? And he was just like, yes, done. And so, yeah, we've just been back and forth with the calls, you know, just trying to see what type of song list we're doing, just to complement each other, you know, when one starts, one finishes sort of thing.
Yeah.
So really just bring up that energy for the other artists that are coming up after us.
It's a great idea. I mean, you've experienced this firsthand where maybe to do that and create that amount of energy on your own is like quite the task.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe if you've done it a whole number of times, it's a little bit easier, but once you get that other person on there to vibe and share and build that energy, that's so awesome. And I think what the crowd likes to see is, you know, for example, taking you and Nate at Laundry, you know, you saying that you were kind of looking to him, not for direction, but just like, you know, ready for ad libs and, just having that like on stage chemistry. Because if you're kind of separate in a way, like, then it's, you're not really bringing a unified front.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
You're not performing together. You're performing, you know.
Oh,
separately.
I know my part, and I'm just going to do my part over
exactly.
here. Yeah. Cool. What have you got here? Yeah, this should be good direction. So you've named Nate. Is it Nate Six yet?
Yeah. Yep.
Nate Six, Jeb Ross. Who else have you been working with? And in terms of your music creation, like, do you produce music? Are you working with a producer? How is that all working?
Yeah. So, not working with anyone else at the moment.
Yeah.
There are talks of working with a few people.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely be releasing so-and-so amount of singles beforehand. In terms of music creation, I don't produce.
Mm-hmm.
Wish I had time, you know.
It's one of those things, isn't
it's
it?
just a time thing, you know. If I could sit there comfortably, I'd do it. I'd sit there and make beats, learn every single bit of it, how to work plugins, etc.
Yeah.
So I work with Overdrive Music.
Okay.
Prior to Overdrive, so Overdrive is pretty my brain co-produced.
Yeah.
My song that's coming out in March.
Okay. Sweet.
Stormin and By My Side were co-produced by Slothy.
Yeah.
Pro by Sloth. But yeah, no, I just sit there, I find a beat, I pay for the lease once I've written a song.
Right.
And if I definitely vibe with it, then I'll buy the lease and then I'll get it going.
Cool. So right now you kind of, you're just on the hunt for beats, you got your eyes on beats, and you know the people in the studio to go there to fucking get it down and make it real tasty. How did you link up with Sloth, with SP?
Alright, so my partner, she's in the sex work industry.
Yep.
And so she was actually, I'm not sure exactly how the link happened,
Yep.
but she was contacted by maybe a friend or Slothy to be in the music video for JFig,
Okay.
who is the lead singer of The Weight of Silence. So the band The Weight of Silence had a song coming out for a music video.
Yeah.
And so she done that, and she met Slothy, she met all these people. She had spoken to him that I, at the time, dabble in music sort of thing, because I still at that time hadn't found my sound.
Was this 2020?
Yeah, I think it may have been, 2020.
Okay, cool.
And he hit me up. I sent him some stuff. I look back at it now, I'm just like, ugh. Because it wasn't, it wasn't singing,
right.
You know what I mean? There was a bit of singing, but again, as I said earlier, sing the hook and then rap a verse sort of thing, and that's just not me, You
hadn't figured out what it was that you wanted to make at that point. Yeah.
And then so linked up. What did we do? We went into the studio, but I was just hanging out there with all the boys, ended up becoming good friends outside of music. Yeah. All the time, just hanging out, staying over, having, little shindigs and stuff that was happening.
Yeah.
And then, this finally came to it, and I recorded Stormin'. But the funny thing of Stormin' is, Slothy was actually away. I think he was on business up in Sydney, maybe. and Nate was watching the house.
Cool.
And so we're having a bit of a little, kick up.
Yeah.
And Ishquan, who's another producer who works at SP,
Okay.
sent Nate a beat pack. And, we had a few drinks and
Hey.
decided to go into the back room because he told me about it. I was like, all right, well, I want to hear some of the beats.
Right. You're ready to go.
And we get to the fourth song, and I hear that riff, and it just like, it's something you can't explain. Just like this creative burst of just like synchronicity with you and that beat. And then, just loops start coming in. I start singing this hook, and then, hook's done. I've written the hook. And then next morning, we wake up pretty like, a bit seedy.
Yeah.
And then go into the studio, and we both just finished writing the whole song. And we sat on that for a minute until we both were in the studio. He got me to come in while he was recording, and then, jumped in, got the song done, and then...
So you kind of wrote it in one night or one kind of period of time, like one short period of time, and then you sat on it for a bit to kind of, I guess, learn it. So it was just like, we wrote like the hook, and maybe a bit of the verse, went to sleep after, we finished drinking, woke up the next morning, we walked out, sat in the studio, and then wrote the whole song, the rest of it, and then we didn't touch it for a while. Went back in the studio when Nate was recording, and he wanted me to record it, so cool.
We got it done, and then end up releasing it not too long after that.
That's awesome. Both of you, but especially you, should be real proud of that.
It was dope. Awesome experience. Always good being around creatives.
Yeah. I guess following that train of thought, how have you felt, in terms of coming into the Melbourne, I guess, hip hop and music scene? Like, what has it been like? Do you feel like it's been hard to enter, or do you feel like a lot of things have just continued to align for you?
I feel like there was a lot of alignment happening, and it's always a strange thing because it's those little moments that are so euphoric and surreal, when you show someone something that you just think's like, a piece of work, and they sit there and they say that, I feel like I'm in the presence of greatness, or like someone who seems like they're so much more knowing about your future than they are their own.
Yeah, they see you even more clearly than you see yourself, because your music has somehow represented that to them, and because you're kind of like probably a little bit numb to your own shit, right?
You sing, just writing a song, you're singing it 100 times, you first write a hook or whatever, and you're like, this is fire, this is the hook, this is the verse, etc. But the amount of times that you're re-singing it back, it doesn't have that flair, but when someone else catches that first little spark when they hear it,
fresh ears.
That's how it felt to you when you first wrote it.
Yeah, that's so powerful, and that's quite the. And that's I guess that's the whole point of like making a track, making music, making a song, for people to have the same experience you did when you initially were like, this is a thing.
Yeah.
Powerful. Do you enjoy like recording in the studio, or do you prefer like kind of writing? Like, what are your favorite parts of the process?
So I sit in my bed after I find a beat. And then I'll write a hook, and that's my favorite part. Starting
to find that hook. Like the essence, the center point of that track.
Melody, those perfect melodies on that beat.
Yeah.
Being able, my favorite part, I always get so excited when I write this hook that I just vibe with so hard. I think that's the best part. In your own head, whether it's your own self-confidence or maybe you're G'ing yourself up too much, regardless of what it is, something's there and you just know it's going to be a good song.
Yeah, I guess it's a feeling that's there, but it's hard to explain, right?
Yeah. And then I guess at the end of the process, once the song's done, you get to hear it finally, it's actually real.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, I can put this on a USB stick.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to sing it anymore.
Yeah, right.
Just type it up on Spotify.
I can carry it.
It
can go somewhere else. Cool. A little bit earlier, we were talking about before your performance at Laundry, you were going through like some meditation and some affirmation and that kind of stuff. Do you want to talk a little bit on your I guess your practice of mindfulness?
Yeah, of course. So it's actually like mostly due to my partner. she went on this long spiritual journey. It's probably still on it, you know, but those breakthrough moments. Yeah. I've always been connected spiritually through my culture, but not connected spiritually to myself.
Interesting. Can you actually just like talk about that differentiation, like the difference between being connected to like spirituality or culture, through culture as opposed to yourself?
Yeah. So like, in meaning that for me, it's like my culture. I live and breathe it to its very essence. Being painted up, you know, learning my own language, you know, since it was lost, etc. You know, I fully believe in that, but not having that same power of belief in myself and spiritually, like, you know, never sitting there and taking the time to question things or allow yourself, because, you know, your mind is the most powerful thing. You know, if you're looking for enlightenment, it's there.
It's within.
You've already got it.
Right. It's just very deep within.
Yeah,
right?
It is. You just got to find those keys, you know. And that's what it was for me. And having her around has been one of the best things, because she's pretty much going, you know, like the keys over on that fence. Just it's up to you if you want to go grab it.
Right. Because it's one thing to be shown how to get there, but it's the other thing just like, well, now I'm going to do the practice or the things I need to do to reach it. Because I guess there is a lot of sitting with yourself, getting comfortable with that, kind of moving through the clutter and the noise to find like what's actually there at the end or the bottom of it.
Yeah. And that's how it was for me, you know, and especially growing up, I guess, you know, as a stereotypical male, you know, you're probably born in the same era. Yeah. You know, men don't cry, you know, this, that, and the other.
It's weird to share your feelings.
Yeah, you know, and so a lot of that, you keep that reserve for yourself. But allowing myself to go through it, you know, and breaking those barriers, like paint my nails, you know, I've been doing that since 2017 or so.
Not worrying about, you know, gender norms and all
toxic
this kind of
masculinity,
stuff.
you know. And that's all a part of it. It's all been a part of this journey, you know, leading up to it. And, you know, just getting into the space where I am now, where I know what I want to do, but I just didn't have the confidence to believe it, or, you know, I didn't even believe my own words. But now when I, you know, it's about rewiring my brain and getting rid of all these toxic negative thoughts and just, you know, being confident in your own future and what you want, instead of going, oh, maybe, no. No, it will happen. I know it's going to happen.
Right. Kind of removing the noise of the self-doubt. Yeah. Which is incredibly hard and something you have to do all the time, right?
Yeah. It's a daily practice, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just those little things, because you can read, you know, beautiful quotes that resonate with you, or lyrics, or whatever it is, but I just don't think anything is more powerful than you telling yourself and saying it aloud. Yeah. You don't really do it.
And if you don't get to that point and you get on stage and then you're doing a track, so your song, like, how can you expect people to connect with that if you're not connecting with that?
100%. You know, because you can tell when someone's singing something or rapping something that is not true to them.
Yes. Actually, so do you find that that's a common experience with a lot of music that's out? I mean, do you go out and see a lot of live music? I know the last 2 years have been a bit weird and a bit of a write-off, but are you normally somebody who would go out, like, watching shows, that kind of stuff?
Honestly, I've never been too in touch with the Melbourne scene.
You're originally from more regional Victoria, or?
So I was born in Warrnambool.
Yeah.
Moved to Central Vic, so Castlemaine and Bendigo when I was younger.
Yeah. And
then moved from there to Melbourne.
What year are we talking?
I couldn't even tell you what year. Be in the early 2000s, I'm sure. Maybe, yeah.
So still at school and stuff?
Yeah, so I may have been about 6 years old when I first moved to Melbourne. But always back and forth, because, you know, that's my country up that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, never been too in touch with the scene. I'd go out to see, you know, metal bands and stuff because my partner loves it. I like metal, but couldn't say I'd ever go out of my way, you know.
Right.
Because it's not particularly what I love.
You appreciate it, but it's like, it's not.
I've seen commercial artists, you know, when 360 done his Utopia tour with Hobson jumped on.
Right.
That was awesome. Vance Joy, love Vance Joy. He came out, watched him. Justin Bieber when he came and toured.
Yeah.
But not necessarily local bands. Only as of, maybe the past year and a half have I been going to see like more local stuff.
Yeah. Who have you seen recently, like within the past 12 months or so, live that you've really liked?
All of my homies from, most of the homies from SP.
Okay.
So like Xander Elwood, Jai Simpson,
Yeah.
Nate Six, Faith, Ty G, like a bunch of these boys.
Yeah.
Insane talented rappers, musicians. But in a more commercial thing, I suppose, like, still very local, but Melbourne is
Oh, yeah.
rapper. Yeah,
no, Melbourne.
Yeah, awesome.
That's without the E, yeah?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
MLBRN.
Yeah.
Awesome. One of my favourites, lovely stuff.
Cool.
But no one else really as of yet, We've only really sort of coming back to the melody as of recent, so...
This is very true.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be out there a lot more and being able to connect with Vibe Union, going down and doing a little thing with Jeb Ross at
Talking Blue?
Yeah, at Talking Blue, the poetry night. And just making those networking connections and friendships, really.
Yeah, I think that's, because I think a lot of the time when we say networking, we actually just mean human connection, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, okay, I fly Vibe and can have a chat with you, and we're doing similar things, and maybe there is room for us to do something together.
Exactly, yeah. It's never, for me anyway, it's never just business.
Yeah.
Because energy affects me a lot, especially as I'm getting more in touch with it. If I pick up a bad vibration, regardless of how good it may be for me to pursue it, it's just a no-go.
Right. That's a really good barrier and kind of awareness to have around that, because it's pretty easy to let in literally evil or bad shit, right? Yeah. So not live, but who else in the scene do you have your eyes on? I'm just very big into name dropping and hearing names.
Yeah. Damn. A lot of the boys that I mentioned just before.
Yeah.
Specifically, like Jeb, to be honest.
Yeah. He's the one who you kind of back really big.
Yeah, him and someone I didn't mention, Ray Palker.
Okay. He's
doing massive things. Just recently came off tour in Queensland, I think, with Kersar and Mitch Ostermanis.
Oh, huge.
And whatnot. He's an incredible artist, produces all of his own stuff, insane vocalist, guitarist, pianist, it's just the whole thing, man. He's incredible. But yeah, him for his music is just one of a kind. There's nothing out there like it.
Yeah.
So I suggest you go and sussy stuff.
You better do it.
Do it.
You better do it.
And yeah, Jeb, definitely, he needs that confidence, and I'm always there trying to boost him for it, because he is such an insane lyricist.
Quick spitter as well.
Yeah, can spit quick. His flow's on point.
He can change it up.
Yeah, it's just, he's insane. And I just can't wait to see him start dropping some of his singles that I've heard. I'm waiting for him to drop. I keep nagging him. Probably going to hear him at Mortal Cadence.
Heck yes. Another reason to come.
Exactly. So I think that they're probably the two main ones at the moment.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh God, I hate when I say so frustrating. What are you working on? What are you working on at the moment, and what can we expect from Yambra in 2022? What can we look forward to?
So I've got, as I said earlier, the song dropping at the end of March.
Yeah.
Be a PR campaign behind that. So I'm definitely, that's going to be the song I'm pushing the hardest.
That's the one with the music video?
Yep.
And who worked on the music video with you?
So Jackson Hyatt Films.
Hyatt or Hyatt?
Hyatt,
yeah.
So Jackson Hyatt Film. Insane. Funny thing again, alignment, as I was speaking earlier. One of my close mates, Cam Camino, starts him with another artist, beautiful, awesome. He's got an album coming out soon, so he hasn't told me when it comes out. But his apartment block in Glen Iris, just a couple doors down on the same level, Jackson had moved in. They obviously met each other and whatnot, and yeah, it turns out he is a filmmaker.
Wow.
And yeah, just those little things that happen, you know, that you can't really explain.
Yeah, the weird connections that you didn't mean to
Yeah.
happen, and they just popped up. All right. So is this the first music video that you've worked on?
Yeah, this will be the very first.
What was it like? You obviously don't have to reveal too much about it because you know we want to see it and we want to have that fresh novel experience. But what was it like being on set? You know, working with a videographer and all that kind of stuff.
That was dope. Hella like intimate in the sense that it was just only him and I.
Yeah.
And then we had another model, Amity MC, hit up the gram, come in, and no, it was just dope because it was when it came to that video, I had a sort of slight understanding of how I wanted to go, but after the shoot with Saskia, yeah, she pretty much helped me set the vibe. I told her exactly what I wanted for the single cover.
Yep.
We got the shot, had awesome flicks, some of the best photography that I've ever had taken of me.
Shout out Saskia.
Literally.
Yeah.
And yeah, I showed him the photo and he immediately caught the vibe that I was going for, you know. And
Awesome.
A lot of neon, some dope shots. And instead of doing a brand new HD, you know, camera sort of thing, we threw it back with an old camcorder. So yeah.
Oh, like going a bit, yeah, okay, bit old school vaporwavy type stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. It's funny how that's had quite the presence in the scene and the zeitgeist of filmmaking and design and stuff. I do like that. Cool. Gosh. How about this? Because we don't really know each other. This is the first time, you know, we've met each other.
Yeah, it is.
Do you have a question for me?
Question for you.
If this for the next 5 minutes, you were the interviewer.
Yeah, okay.
You were the host, and I was the guest.
Where would you like to see your podcast in the next 5 years?
The Vibe Union podcast. I'd like to see the Vibe Union podcast in the next 5 years to be a known source of insight in the scene, a place to go to know what's on, like actual events and stuff, a place to go to know who to keep eyes on, a place to go to experience real meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
And not just talk about surface level shit. Kind of figure out the why behind a lot of artists and creatives. I'd love for it to have some good sponsors, some meaningful sponsors to back it as well. So anyone who's listening to this who we haven't already reached out to for these kind of things, if you feel like, you know, you want to slap a little logo and show us some love, you know, hit us up in our email, on our website. It's all there, vibeunion.com.au. But yeah, that's probably where I would like to see the podcast in 5 years. So obviously still going. At that point, maybe we'd be at like, we'd probably be 200 to 300 episodes deep. We want to have like names like Sampa the Great and, you know, just a whole lot of big names out there, right? We want to have the power to hit up big players and be like, let's talk about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that'd be the best thing too, you know, the team getting to where you want to be, say, in the next 5 years is definitely reachable, but also coming from, you know, that underground sort of vibe to be able to go, you know, we can get these commercial artists in to do podcasts, but we're also going to shine light on, you know, up and comers in the scene, you know, like it's a powerful thing. I feel like a lot of places lack that, you know, they hit that commercial and they stay on that commercial.
Yeah, or they're only interested in people who are already in the spotlight.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, like, places like Vibe Union, or anything that is similar, definitely need a lot more exposure, because I feel like even radio stations, etc., you know, unless you're signed to a label, you know, it's so hard to get there.
Yeah, if you make music, you don't directly go on radio.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, and even like local radio, there's still like, there's a big buffer.
Yeah.
That you have to like work past, and a lot of it is just like being known or having some kind of show of support, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Support following. Hit me with another one.
All right.
Line them up, yeah, bro.
Let me think. Other than podcasts,
Yeah.
what else do you like to do creatively, or in, like, say, your own personal time? Do you game? Do you take photos?
I used to game. I was addicted to World of Warcraft for
Same. I've been
yeah,
playing since I was 8 years old.
That's
bro.
what we're talking, and we both played Paladins a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
Were you heal tank? What
So I used to play Ret.
Yeah, Ret.
Yeah, I was mad
Jeez.
Ret.
That's
and
controversial.
Holly, yeah. So.
I was a big holy boy.
Yeah.
I used to love healing. I quit World of Warcraft 3-ish months ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I got back into it for lockdown. I didn't play through a few years, but when lockdown and stuff happened, and my housemate Kat played it at the same time as well. So we're like, we can do this together and get through lockdown through WoW. But now that things are back up and opening, and I do my own music as well. I'm sitting on an EP that's going to be released towards the end of the month.
Exciting.
It's really good. It's all Wrath production.
Yeah, gang.
And I tell you what, he really knows how to build worlds and make... This guy used to not think that he could make trap music, and now he makes some of the freshest trap music in the scene. It's pretty wild for himself and for others as well.
Yeah, okay.
He just loves working for the right people, I guess. So in my spare time outside of podcasts, like I do my own video production business, Fiction Film Studio. That's the main work I've got at the moment.
Go follow.
That's it, Fiction Film Studio on the IG, on the YouTube, and there is a little website out there too. I love writing.
Yeah.
I like writing. I love seeing live music. I see a whole lot of live music.
Yeah.
Very local, very like fresh and up and coming, but also like some a little bit established and old head type space as well. But I just like keeping my eyes on the scene. Yeah.
Dope. Yeah, no, I actually started playing a new game as of yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago. It's called Lost Ark.
I was literally gonna say Lost Ark. That's so funny.
Played a Paladin on there too.
Right. Cool. I mean, how often do you game? Are you a big gamer or casual? Or?
So gaming started, as I was saying, from where I got the name Yambra. So since I was a kid, my mum, my dad, my uncles and stuff, we used to...
It's been in the family.
Yeah, like, more as like I wouldn't even say a hobby, more like a luxury sort of thing. And it stuck with me, but there'd be times where, we wouldn't have an internet for like over a year or something,
Right.
Because of life, we all know how it is with bills and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I was able to do that, I was playing World of Warcraft all the time, League of Legends, Heroes and Earth, just like all these games, committed to it, because at that time, music, like as much as I love music, it wasn't really on my radar. I wanted to be a Twitch streamer, because Twitch was sort of a new thing then.
Do you want to know who's a Twitch streamer? My housemate Kat. She's a Twitch partner.
Really?
Plays Smite
Massive
a lot.
news.
Yeah,
Smite?
yeah, plays Smite.
I had Smite when it first came out.
Right.
I got the pack. You get every single champion when they get released.
Oh, damn. Yeah, she just became partner like
That's
a month and a half ago, I know. And she put in the work and she does it properly. Yeah, Kat the Mermaid is her name.
Check
it
out.
Twitch stream, Kat
Follow.
the Mermaid. Shout outs. And sub if you really want to be generous.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I feel like we've got like a nice kind of well-rounded, kind of image or insight to yourself, and really appreciate you sharing, some of your stuff, and it's good to see up-and-comers like you who are keen, looking for opportunities, just looking to go. For anyone else out there who's in a similar situation, what kind of, advice or words or wisdom would you give to anyone in a similar position to you?
Damn. Take as much advice as you can. Don't let it affect you. Everyone will always have a different opinion, whether it's positive or negative. Just stick your head down. The greats are still improving every day, and we're only an apprentice, in this. So just keep your head down, practice your craft. If it's something you really want to do, pursue it. Or I think the best thing to do is make sure you have that fallback. You know, it's only when you're in desperate positions where you give every bit of yourself to it, your passion. But it either works or it doesn't. You know. If you're in the position where you can make space for a fallback, which is going to be able to fund your passion until it blows off, well then do that, because I think it's the safest way to go about it. It allows you to have luxuries of paying for your own music videos, paying for licensing, you know, and getting your songs out there properly with ads.
Because it's an expensive endeavor.
Yeah,
pursue,
it is.
Right?
It is.
If you want to do it properly.
Yeah, especially nowadays. You know, if you're looking for real quality stuff, some videographers are charging $1,800 minimum a music video.
Yeah, and that's for what, maybe a simple two, 3 location shoot.
Yeah.
Just kind of pretty straightforward, not like wild effects and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with like photographers. You know, you pay for a photo shoot, half of them are charging $600. You get 10 photos back, maybe 2 outfit changes in like a couple of different locations. You know, on them for getting to where they want to be and charging that rate. But yeah, the point is it's expensive, and you need to be able to make sure you're in the space to do it.
I love that. So like a combination of kind of backing yourself and having some options and having some kind of some bank to play with as well.
Yeah.
Not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, 100.
And then also like knowing the people who are gonna do like an $1,800 clip for not $1,800.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah?
It's that networking, you know. Whether you think it's apparent or not, just being in the same room as someone, you know, having them know your face the next time they see you. Those little things, they make the biggest difference. You know, be authentic, be genuine, be yourself. I don't think, you know, until you're with a label, you know, you don't have to worry about business.
Right.
Just be sincere, you know. Talk to people, get to know them, catch a vibe. And, you know, those same sort of people, they might jump on the journey with you and go, you know, let's do a project.
Exactly.
Let's collaborate. I think that they're the biggest things. Just be yourself.
Huge. The wisest of words. I appreciate your time. Before I let you go, what have you got? I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping for Vibe Union.
Yeah.
You know, for all things Vibe Union, you can check out our website, vibeunion.com.au. There you'll find all of our events. You'll find all the podcasts. You'll find a tip jar if you want to like support us in any digital coin way. You'll also find people like Saskia and myself who do photography, videography, Rhath who does design and music production. If you need these kind of services, hit them up, make it happen. By the time this podcast comes out, we would have already had our State of Oscillation, which is our kind of like party club type vibe with a little bit of canvas drawing and stuff down at Radio Bar. That's the last Saturday of every month, so that would have passed. We probably would have had a couple like in a Talking Blue, but yeah, 12th of March, Bar 303, Mortal Cadence. You've got Yambra, you've got Hana Rose, we've got Jeb Ross is going to be joining you, and Rhath, of course. How could we forget young, beautiful, bold Rhath? So check it out. Thanks everyone for joining us on the 45th episode of the Vibe Union podcast. Yambra, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Harry.
And until next time, take it easy.
Take care.
Yeah.